as the lights come on and we are racing here at the Hockenheim Ring. It's a decent start from the front row, to be perfectly honest. Wisniewski able to hang on from Kevin Siggy. Once again, a look to the inside from the RHG driver of Marcel Chinchik. All of those qualifying within a tenth of a second, still coming through nice and cleanly. Josh Rogers, though, trying to make it 3 wide in the background and getting squeezed off by Eamon Murphy as we head down in. It's a little bit of 3 and 4 wide as they depart the corner, and Josh Rogers remains in 12th.
Well, he was so optimistic over that start out of turn 1, was making moves straight away, but that hasn't quite come off for him, unfortunately. He's side by side with Jeffrey Rietveld, but with no slipstream, he's forced to tuck back into 12th. Meanwhile, up front, Siggy's challenging for the lead. Here we go into the hairpin.
Yeah, Siggy's not able to do anything. Josh Rogers going to send it big time down the outside. There's a bit of the inside line being taken from Yuri Toman as he's trying to squeeze his way past the likes of Eamon Murphy. Jeffrey Rietveld drops back to the rear position on the field. Josh Rogers has picked up a couple. He's got to go around the outside of the fast kick, as does Kaiki Oliveira on Kevin Ellis Jr. He's going to send it in deep coming into the arena, and Kevin Ellis Jr. is just able to fend off the 5th position. Here's Josh Rogers up now into 10th.
Something had clearly gone on there because they had a very narrow line out of the Mercedes Arena section there. That was very bizarre. But either way, that's quite a dive from Jeffrey Rietveld into the Mobil 1 curve. You don't see that very often. There is a reason for that.
Yeah, because it doesn't work. It normally ends up in a substantial crash. We've seen that before in ESLR1 in the plenty of races that we've had around here. Of course, normally when we did races, it was quarter-final. We would do the quarter-finals, do the semi-finals, we'd do the final. So everyone would get 3 races on each given circuit. Whereas now, obviously, it's just you get 1 race on a track. If you're good on it, great. If you're bad on it, well, try and do what you can. If you're good on it and you mess up, ooh, you're in trouble. Kevin Ellis Jr. takes quite a lot of that curb going through the first corner. He's trying to close back down on Marcel Chinchik, but his pressure is really coming from behind as a bit of a look is coming in from Tommy Usgaard.
It is in towards turn 2 they will go, and this is the important traction zone. You need the exit out of here on the Parabolica, which is not really a corner at all, and then towards the hairpin where you can really make some dives. Eamon Murphy is probably closest to doing so. That's in a battle for 8th place with Tommy Usgaard. Yuri Toman and Jeffrey Rietveld are quite close as well, but here comes Murphy.
Let's see if there's going to be the move. So he's going to dive it down the inside of Tommy Usgaard here again. Eamon Murphy started towards the back, but that was a bit of contact with Morris Liner. And there's a spin for Joshua Rogers. He has gone round and drops back to 12th. It's a costly mistake for Rogers. Was it through contact or through his own volition? He's struggling to get back going again. And the race winner at the Nürburgring looks to be conceding for the final spot on the grid.
Certainly is. Marcel Chinchik up front of him as well. He'll be gaining points. There's more contact. Tommy Usgaard goes around. That could well spell the end of his weekend, as he knows he had a big task anyway. That has only made it more difficult.
Well, Race Control, they didn't intervene too much with any of the racing back in the Nürburgring, but I am almost certain in just 2 laps they're having to deal with an awful lot here. Of course, what happened to Joshua Rogers and what happened in that contact between Eamon Murphy and Tommy Usgaard. It's one of those things you need to see from about 1,000 different angles, and I have no doubt that Conor Maddock will be trying to get that for us ASAP. Nikodem Wisniewski then 2 laps down will continue to lead, 6/10 clear of Kevin Siggy, Maximilian Benneker, then Marcel Chinchik, Kevin Ellis Jr. and Kaiki Oliveira inside the top 6, where we find this driver here, Moritz Lerner, with a decent gap behind. I would say that still it's 7 for the race lead.
Yeah, looks like it, and that's kind of similar to the numbers we had within a 10th of a second in qualifying. The top half were within a 10th, so it's very similar indeed. Out of that crucial traction zone in towards the hairpin they'll go. None of them are really close enough to make dives here, and that sort of carnage in the opening 2 laps has sort of paved the way for maybe a little bit of a calmer section here, because they can't go on like that, surely.
No, I think everyone would end up turned and twisted around as we head our way out of the hairpin. A look over the head of our race leader on the right-hand side, that is Nikodem Wisniewski. Alongside him is Eamon Murphy, who's the driver who might be in a little bit of trouble from Race Control. But you can see that level of focus. You can see what Wisniewski is able to do within the car, checking over to the right-hand side. What he's doing by checking over the right, he's not looking for a mirror, for gaps, whatever. He's looking at his tyre temperature. That's what's over on the right-hand side. You can kind of just see it there. He's just noting where the car is in his head, and what he's feeling in his hands.
And you might think that in such a short race it actually doesn't matter, but it really does. The tyre temperature, you've got to keep an eye on it. If it gets out of control, it's very hard to bring that back without obviously bringing your pace down a little bit. You can't really afford to do that either. There's the contact that sent Josh Rogers around. Yuri Toman could well find himself in trouble for that.
I kind of get that, you know, obviously it's very easy to trip over each other going into the hairpin, but I think that feels like a bit of a slammy slam dunk. There is a look at race control on the right-hand side. You can see them all there. You can see how many screens I've got. It's 14 screens from left to right, and plenty of data on it as well. We did watch Formula 3 from in there, but we're not talking about that because that was much before the broadcast.
It was. I didn't watch it. Whatever.
Did you not?
No. But
you didn't want to come over and say hello. You didn't want to support Team Redline. They're driving the race.
Oh well, they'll certainly need all the screens though, because there's been a lot going on so far. That incident towards the hairpin, the one between Osgaard and Murphy as well, will be one to look at. Yuri Toman's teammate Marcel Czincik is here just behind Max Benecke. We ride on board with him at the moment, gaining some pace in the slipstream here. He might have a go.
Let's see if he goes. He's going to look down the inside of the arena. Backside, there could be deep though from Maximilian Benecke. That could be very wise from Marcel Czincik. He's just filled the mirrors at the wrong time and forced a mistake out of Benecke. There's 3 Audi R8s fighting for the final spot on the podium. Czincik once again looks up the inside. There could be a move here into Mobil 1. Depends on what Kevin Ellis Jr. does for the Apex Racing team. Wisely, he lifts out of it, has no interest in that whatsoever, as Marcel Czincik once again starts feeling that pressure that's all over his shoulders. After a disappointing first race, he must respond immediately. Less so for moving on to tomorrow. He's in a fairly comfortable position for that. But more so if he wants to win tomorrow. Get his fair share of that €225,000 prize pool, 45k for the winner. That's what he wants. That's what his eyes are on.
Yeah, just because you are through into the top 12 and you might already know that or feel like you're safe, even if not mathematically so, you still need the points, as we'll explain tomorrow. Kevin Ellis Jr. very much in the middle of this battle for third place that's all been kicked off really by Benecke and Czincik's battle. It was smart driving from Czincik really at the back end of the last lap, but unfortunately wasn't able to take advantage of it. It's allowed everyone to catch up as well, and so that all makes his life even more difficult when he's looking over his shoulder and trying to keep his eyes forward as well. Yeah,
certainly. So is there going to be any dives here? Marcel Czincik once again fills the mirrors of the Mouse driver, and then over the rear end, bits of contact as Kevin Ellis Jr. just rubs over the rear end of the R8G. There's a bit of side-by-side as well off the corner. I think that might be between Jeffrey Rietveld and Eamon Murphy. Might actually be between Moritz Lerner and Keke Oliveira, actually, if I correct myself on that one. And Lerner was looking down the inside of Keke Oliveira, but doesn't actually make his way through. He does now, though. He's sending his way in, and Keke Oliveira could be dropping back a position here. This is where one of the Fury cars, I remember getting involved in a big incident in round 4 of the ESL R1, and of course in the live performance that we had in round 2 of ESL R1 on the Sunday back in Katowice. But at the moment, he just drops the single position to Moritz Lerner.
Yeah, he's another driver that is on the bubble of being eliminated here. Is Keke Oliveira needs to gain some more points. Lerner needs those in view of tomorrow after finishing in 6th place in the first race of the day. First race for Group B anyway. Moritz Lerner is back to 6th place again in this second race. Battle for third place is still the focus, I guess, with Benecke clearly holding up the other two just ever so slightly.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that lingering. I'm just really looking forward to the battle between Nikodem Wisniewski and Kevin Siggy. For anyone who... Oh, that's a little bit deep from Kevin Ellis Jr. He's fine, let's not panic. But for anyone who's watched esports for a while, particularly between those two, more so over on the side of rFactor 2, they have done battle many a time over the last, let's say, 5-6 years. And so to see them once again being really close on circuit, it's all these kind of like these historic battles that really get me excited. Kevin Ellis Jr. though sending it down the inside. Oh. It could be a little bit too deep though as he sends it in, and somehow they all come out. It's 3 wide off the corner. It could be big for Marcel Czincik. Frustration for Maximilian Benecke as he's going to lose out to the Hungarian coming through from the costly mistake of Kevin Ellis Jr. He's going to try and fight back, but he's unable to do so, and the R8G man takes over 3rd.
Well, that was quite a dive from Kevin Ellis Jr. I'm not entirely sure it was fully intentional, actually, but it certainly scattered the cars around. Marcel Czincik was able to take great advantage of it, though, just slowing down a little bit more on the way in to have a faster exit. He gets through into 3rd place, kind of making up for the lack of points he gained out of the first race.
Yeah, certainly so. There's still plenty of time left to go in this race, by the way. 4 laps left. It's a 10-lap race around the Hockenheimring. They're aiming to be between 12 and 15-minute races, while we have around about the the around about the 10 lap mark. That's why we had a few less than Nürburgring. We'll have less at Spa. I think 7 at Spa. But as we move through, you could really take a look there at how Marcel Chindy was feeling. There is a 10-second slowdown penalty for Eamon Murphy, though. Unfortunately for him, he will take that in the slowdown zone, which I think around here is out of turn 3 on the Parabolica.
Yes, it is. So he'll have to make sure that he gets out the way in time and lets through Jeffrey Rietveld and Yuri Toman, who are both going to benefit from this. Here we go. You'll notice Murphy staying out the way, or he won't, and Rietveld will have to get out the way himself.
I think they're told to stay.
There we are, stay to the right. There we are.
Yeah.
Here comes Kevin Ellis Jr. Max Benecke is falling backwards in this race. You spoke about the Audis getting stronger as the day goes on. That's not the case for Benecke. Here we go down the inside for Kevin Ellis Jr. A lot more controlled and considered on the brakes this time.
Could he be due a penalty, though, from race control after that kind of that gap contact in all of that? Of course, Eamon Murphy's penalty was between contact between himself and Tommy Usgaard. Kevin Ellis Jr. is able to make his way through here, but he's not exactly cleared himself on Maximilian Benecke, who I don't think will be particularly pleased in the Scotsman right there. But it is the Apex Racing Team driver, that white and blue, that makes his way through and up into 4th position. 2nd and 4th at the moment for Kevin Ellis Jr. He's looking pretty feisty this weekend. He loves a good LAN event.
He's looking fantastic. Actually, he did really well in Poland, as we said earlier on as well. So clearly thrives in this kind of environment, despite the fact he's the only Apex Racing Team driver here this weekend. He is doing really well. There's notification of another penalty.
That'll be for spinning around Josh Rogers.
The least surprising one, I've got to say.
Yeah, definitely. So Yuri Toman will receive a 10-second slowdown penalty. That will, of course, once again come on the exit of turn 3. So we'll try and keep close to Jeffrey Rietveld here, and then he'll take the slowdown. He'll hold himself over to the right-hand side. Eamon Murphy will probably come through. To be fair, probably will Tommy Usgaard and maybe even Joshua Rogers as well. Could it be an important final point for Joshua Rogers, again, as he tries to close down on our championship leader? Jeffrey Rietveld also receiving, I think, like just after the grid's got penalties in this race. Goodness me.
That's a quarter of them now, with 3 penalties, unless I'm missing one.
Well, we're still waiting to see what happens with Kevin Ellis Jr.
We are, yeah, and I think that will be a penalty as well. They've both got penalties, so this is interesting. Jeffrey Rietveld and Yuri Toman.
It's a thrilling fight.
At about 60 k's or whatever it is. Slow down. There goes Benecke again down the inside. He's clearly locked on. He's helping his teammate Moritz Lerner, going for 2 places in 1.
Goodness me, 3 wide once again. Mouse one side, Mouse the other. It's an Apex Racing Team sandwich between some delicious mouse bread. As out wide goes Kevin Ellis Jr. coming down into the arena. It's so tight between the pair of them. There's going to be a big move around the outside from Moritz Lerner. Round of applause for that. What a sensational move from Lerner. Benecke in 6th position as he drops back. And now the Furia car's involved. This is fantastic racing.
Thought Oliveira was going to make that 3 wide even into the Mobil 1 curve, but decides to stay behind. Benecke continues to fall backwards. He's now P6. Kevin Ellis Jr. has at least held on to this top 5 position for now. It's the turn of the Brazilian to try and make this move. He's looking strong enough, I think, to at least give this a go.
Yeah, how good is this? You can see, looking over the shoulder of Kaiki Oliveira, you've got like a little bit of a radar there as well, which tells you how close you are to the front and rear and to the side-by-side. I know you were ignoring it the other day, but it does tell you quite accurately where all the other cars are around you. There has been a drive-through penalty for Jeffrey Rietveld for driving outside of the track bounds, another thing you're familiar with. So yet another penalty is dished out. That one is in-game, though, not delivered from race control.
And that will mean he'll get a donut today, I think, for this race. 0 points.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a physical one.
A goose egg.
0 points. Yeah, whatever. 0 points for this one, I'm afraid, for Jeffrey Rietveld, and that could spell the end of his day. He might well not be making it to the 2nd day. Here comes Kevin Ellis Jr. Another move on Moritz Lerner.
Yeah, see if he can make his way through. Once again, looks to the inside, or looks to the outside rather, on Moritz Lerner's able to do so. Kaiki Oliveira is going to give it a go on Maximilian Benecke, who, agreeing with what you're saying, is seeming to be struggling at the moment in his number 71 Mouse Audi R8. This is going to be thrilling, though, side by side between the pair of these. Moritz Lerner having to fend off Kevin Ellis Jr. in the place that he made the overtake earlier on as they head to the outside of the arena section. Once again, brilliant move here coming from Kevin Ellis Jr. Who's going to be able to finish it off, though, as they depart their way out of this section and up towards Mobil 1. They're going to be side by side to Mobil 1 in the penultimate lap. Is that actually going to happen? Kevin Ellis Jr. with the inside line absolutely sent it in, and the Apex Racing Team car takes over 4th, but I partially don't think it's done yet.
No, I fully don't think it's done yet. In fact, Moritz Lerner gives it another go into the Sachs curve. There's no way of going side by side on that occasion. However, there will be one final lap. There's been move after move after move into the hairpin in this race. It's such a good opportunity to make overtakes. It's provided great entertainment so far. I think it just has a little bit more to give as well.
Yeah, fantastic. If you're enjoying all of this, once again, get on social media. Let us know what you're thinking, how you're watching, what you're enjoying about ESL R1, and whilst you're there as well, ! survey, and let us know exactly what you think of the championship. Help us improve. We improve with you. We are one in all of this, and that is exactly how a sim racing championship moves forward. Nikodem Wisniewski's clear at the moment at the front. Kevin Siggy's not quite close enough to attack. He's not made a single mistake yet, has Wisniewski, and that is not the commentator's curse, don't worry about it, but it's Kevin Ellis Jr. where our focus is, the battle for 4th position, as there could be a big send here. The dummy's been played by Moritz Lerner. Is he going to send it in? Is there nearly contact? There's almost a brush between them, but it's still going to be Ellis Jr. with a drive off the corner.
Yeah, Lerner tried to dummy him into thinking there wasn't going to be a move there, and then eventually did go for it. Jeffrey Rietveld is just being a nuisance at the moment in 8th place because he hasn't served that drive-through penalty, of course, for track limits. So I don't know what he's going to do about that. I presume he's going to be dumped a load of points at a load of seconds at the end of the race. He's probably going to be down at the back.
Yeah, I think he's going to be dropped back to that 12th position as well. See, once again, up towards Mobile 1. Any movement in this grouping, it's close. There could be a move into the Sachs curve, but I think Ellis Jr.'s nailed Mobile 1 and is starting to pull away from the grouping. Up towards the front, it's the hero story we all kind of really wanted after what has been a difficult day for Nikodem Wisniewski. Out through the final corner, and the Williams driver is about to cross the line as our 3rd winner of the day, the 2nd winner of Group B. Nikodem Wisniewski dominates at the Hockenheim Ring. Siggy behind and Marcel Chinchik. Again, what a story. Fantastic qualifying and fantastic race. And it is Nikodem Wisniewski donning on the hoodie to take on top honours.